Today, I want to talk about the USS Vermont, aka the Brick, because I recently completed the Bureau project, and now that more people in the general public have this ship, I've heard that a lot of people don't think it's very good. And I sympathize with that to some degree because the hull, aside from the 38mm armor plating on the deck and the side, is pretty poor. It's gigantic, it's slow, there's a lot of flat real estate and corners to arm and catch shells. It can be vulnerable to HE, and because of the lack of speed, it doesn't really excel at getting away when things get too hot and heavy. So it does require a specific playstyle, and there is one thing that I think really helps this ship. Now, this is, of course, a dead horse that I've been beating for years, but I think this theory has caught on with some people, and you might appreciate it here because I submit to you the reason I was able to do as well as I did in this battle, and things are going to go south pretty quickly. Just don't worry, we'll get into that in a moment. But the reason I was able to do as well as I'm going to manage to do here is because my detectability on the Vermont, if you look at the upper left-hand corner of the screen next to the minimap, 12.4 kilometers by sea. How do we achieve that? Well, number one, we use the concealment module in the third slot. And number two, on our commander, we have Kondo as one inspiration. He's rank 16, legendary rank 4, so he's maxed out. And then we've got Azerlane Sovetsky Rosia. Now, if you don't have that particular special premium commander, you can use Swirsky, and he'll do basically the same thing. She is also rank 16, not quite legendary 4, but with all that, we have 12.4 kilometer detectability by sea. And there are plenty of people out there who question, is it worth using double concealment inspirations in lieu of everything else on the battleship build? Well, for this particular battleship, it absolutely is, and I think this match will demonstrate that well. So let's get into calling the shots. We've noticed the majority of the enemy team is coming over to this flank, and because we are so slow, we're going to head over here and try to park in this general area. Of course, as we go, we're trying to get behind this island to protect ourselves from return fire, but the USS Ohio from all the way across the map manages to find our citadel. The Vermont Citadel is exposed, so you do have to be careful. And with that, he's taken away more than half of our HP. We're going to be down to just over 40k by the time we're finished with our first repair party consumable. And so now we are in basically hard mode. But take a look at this fleet of enemy ships out here. The Petropavlovsk, the Montana, and I think there's a Schlieffen as well. They're all outside of our detectability, and the enemy destroyer was spotted on the other side of the map. That means we have almost complete control over this engagement. We're going to turn out a little bit in order to angle against these big guns opposite us. But look at this. Montana comes around the corner, doesn't see us, doesn't know that he should probably angle. We put the spotter plane up for the dispersion bonus, and then we fire a salvo. And take a look at what this does. Yeah, I don't think you can really look at that and tell me that this is a bad ship. These guns are filthy, okay? The hull on this ship, not so great. Obviously, we're going to take a lot of damage in return from all of these ships. They're going to be able to farm us down pretty good. And so we're going to need to retreat. We cannot take the sustained focus fire from 4 different ships. The Brisbane over there to the left of the screen is currently spotting us. But look at his position and look at where he's going. He's going to take himself behind that island. So if we keep the gun silent, we're going to be able to go dark, which is going to allow us to get to our second charge of the repair party consumable and get back up to about 20,000 HP. We were reduced to about 14k there, and if we had not been built for concealment, we wouldn't have gone dark until maybe just now, or maybe we still wouldn't be dark, because Montana's within 13 km of us, and so we would be focused, and we would likely sink. Now we're going to take a shot at the Brisbane with the rear turret, and then line up the front turrets on the Montana as he turns out again, trying to potentially set up a double strike here, but we don't get the kill on the Brisbane. We do, however, get the kill on the Montana, and we are running the Epic Artillery Plotting Room mod, which increases our accuracy by a certain percentage for every 30,000 damage we do, We've got that activated 3 times, and then it further increases the damage that our shells do by 5% for every ship we sink. So these guns can get a pretty big alpha if you start sinking a lot of ships. In any case, the state of the game shows that both teams are fairly even, although the Reds have lost one more ship than we have. However, this is going to be a pretty close battle, and we are going to have to be cautious. We are once again in hard mode. We've only got 28,000 HP, and even though the Vermont does have 38mm armor plating on the side and the deck, that's good for shattering HE, that's good for angling against even the highest caliber guns in the game, but again, it's just so big and flat and so many surfaces to catch shells, it takes damage very, very easily. We're up to over 100,000 damage done now in the first 6 minutes or so. Took a shot there at the broadside Colombo over the islands, but of course the results weren't great, and he's going to pull forward. Do we shoot at the Schlieffen? Perhaps, but keep in mind Vermont does have a 36-second reload on these guns, and it is absolutely okay to hold your fire for the optimal target. I think it's a good thing, in fact, that we didn't shoot at the Schlieffen there. We're still considering doing it, but he's not quite broadside, and he's going to go behind that island, which is going to prevent him from shooting us. And that means we can 1v1 this Petropavlovsk, who, to be fair, is a pretty heavily armored cruiser, but he does have an overmatchable part on the bow, and if he gives even the slightest bit of broadside, his citadel is quite exposed. See what I mean? He's got no HP left, and it shouldn't take too much longer to take him out. I'm not sure why he's shooting the HE at me, to be honest. To be fair, I think his HE does pen the armor pretty much everywhere, but the Petro's HE is as close to trash as you can get. The Alpha Strike is not impressive, neither is the Fire Chance. And, well, he's going to do a little bit of damage to us, but he's taking some fire from, I think, the friendly Alaska. You can see him posted up behind an island near the friendly base over there. And that Alaska is going to come in clutch for this game. He is going to make all the right choices. You'll see that as we go further. That salvo is not quite enough to take out Petro, only overpens there, but I think our Alaska teammate is going to finish him off, which is going to allow us to go dark. We do need to be careful, though. We are broadside to the 2 battleships over there. I don't think they can see us now, though, so we should be okay. And to be fair, Petro did whittle us down to 7,400 HP. One salvo from the Schlieffen or from the Colombo will be enough to take us down. So we need to be cautious. We need to be patient, and we need to not overcommit. It's not going to help our team if we sink. We take a shot there at the Schlieffen, who we can see is broadside to us on the minimap. We don't get spotted because we're behind the island. And the brick strikes once again. Schlieffen goes down for our second kill of the game in a devastating strike. 182,000 damage done, and the high caliber medal. That leaves only the Brisbane, the Colombo, and one other battleship who isn't spotted. We've got our friendly DD, which is a Shimakaze, inside of the red cap, and we would like to go help him because the other battleship that isn't the Colombo and, of course, the Brisbane are turning around to go defend. Brisbane has a radar, and he's almost certainly going to find the Shimakaze and sink it. But the longer that Shimakaze remains on the base, the longer the enemy stops accruing any points. They're stuck at 355 right now, and we've just overtaken them. So if the Shima can stay on there for a little bit more and at least contest, it might not matter if he ends up going down, especially if we can sink one of these ships. And that is what's going to happen. He's going to remain in that cap and then run away from the battleship in the Brisbane, but he is going to go down. However, those two are going to end up chasing him pretty far off the map, and they aren't really going to be able to turn around to come help their Colombo. Colombo is pushing in toward our base. He's shooting at the Alaska, who is bow tanking him. Alaska, of course, has 32mm bow plating, so he can protect himself reasonably well against the Colombo, especially if he doesn't have to worry about fire from the other red ships, which are pursuing the Shima. So, we're holding our fire here because if we shoot at the Colombo at this angle and this HP, I don't think we're going to take him out. And it is absolutely crucial that when we fire these guns, we sink the Columbo, because if he gets even one chance to shoot back at us, he will absolutely sink us, and then we'll lose. The battleship is worth a lot more points when it's sunk than a cruiser or a destroyer. And so we cannot allow our team to lose those points by going down. In order to win this game, we have to be patient and we have to stay alive. Columbo is continuing to push in. I'm hoping that he's going to continue turning to bow tank that Alaska a little bit more and open up that angle for me. He hasn't quite done it yet, but he is on low HP. We're debating on if we want to shoot him now, and we're monitoring the Alaska's health all the time to make sure that he's not close to going down. We need him to survive, and it does look like Columbo is turning ever so slightly to the right. Not very much, not very dramatically, but he's opening up that angle just enough. And of course, we're concealed this entire time, so we absolutely have complete 100% control over this engagement and when we shoot. We choose to release the salvo now, and it was a good choice. We probably could have shot a little bit earlier, but we wanted to guarantee that kill, and we do. That's 3 kills, almost 200,000 damage done. The Shimakaze does go down, but because he was on that base for so long and because we sunk the Columbo, we are ahead of the enemy team by about 60 points. So this game is a win, as long as we don't sink. Now, there are still 3 minutes left to go, but I tell the Alaska to get back, and I intend to sail toward the corner of the map with all the islands over there to protect myself and not get spotted again. And so long as we do that, I don't think the enemy team can reach our base. Turns out they can't. 15 seconds left to go in the battle, and we achieve a victory with this one using the brick. And I submit to you, the reason that we won this game, we absolutely would not have if I were not spec'd into double concealment. So you might think concealment is a little bit situational on a battleship, and maybe if there had been more destroyers spotting me, I would have had a little bit of a harder time. But always remember, concealment is a universal value for every ship, and on a battleship specifically. It allows you to have control over the engagement, and it allows you to get away when you need to, and sometimes you need to. Sometimes it's not a good idea to throw away your ship for no reason, and surviving till the end and participating in the battle throughout the entire thing for the whole duration. That is what can help you win games and probably help you have a better time in the Vermont. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.